All right, I felt like this was a good time to do a timely little update and kind of share with what I've learned a little bit. So if you haven't seen the last video, kind of go over how I got this property, and what you see is a giant mess. So the single wide's finally been torn down. Everything should be hauled out Monday. Today's Friday. So this video I kind of wanted to talk about with what I've learned as far as lending goes, licensing, that sort of stuff. So the plan here is to put a brand new double wide on here, sell the property. And I'm going to use a hard money lender. And this hard money lender, we're on the final steps. All they got to do now is their final walkthrough of the property, make sure everything looks all right, do an appraisal, and then they're all set there. And I believe they're going to lend somewhere between $110,000 and $120,000, and they're going to cover 100% of that new double wide. And they're going to cover 90% of all my setup costs. And the setup costs include everything from cutting down some trees to any sort of grading and fill that I might need, my gravel driveway. If I want to do shrubs and flowers and all the pavers and all of those nice, beautiful things, that's in my budget too. So they're going to cover 90% of all that. And, you know, I've got an origination fee. This particular lender, it's 3% or $4,000, whichever one's larger. So in this case, I'm going to pay a $4,000 origination fee to get access to 120 grand. And the way that process will work is I have to have some liquidity. I have to have some skin in the game to do this. And my skin in the game is the land that I've already bought. And my skin in the game is the money that I have in my bank account or in my retirement accounts, okay? So the way that works is that, you know, whenever it comes to materials or, you know, paying the contractors, I've got to pay that by credit card, cash, whatever, doesn't matter. And then they will reimburse me for it. And I'll only pay interest on whatever I draw from that account. So that's really helpful because you could do this the way that I am. You could do a new double wide like I'm doing if your lender will allow. You could do a single wide. You could do a single family house. You could do a new build, whatever. If you find a hard money lender that'll do those things, that's kind of how it works. This particular lender, they won't lend on the land, but I paid 13 grand for the lot and for that old piece of junk. So I could stomach that, but there are lenders that will lend that 13 grand or whatever your lot costs to help you get into that lot as well. And I actually know a couple of people that's doing this very project that do that. They got hard money on the land, and then they go and get hard money or private money to do the install in the new home. So what did the hard money lender need? Well, the coolest part about it is that nobody asked me for a tax return. I'll tell you exactly what they needed. They needed to know my credit score. They did a soft credit check. And then from there, I needed to show my accounts. It could be statements. They really told me all I need is a screenshot of the accounts with a date. So I could have went into my bank account and just screenshotted that dollar amount that I got in there, and we're cool. I sent the statements because I believe that I should be as honest as I can be about what I've got going on here, because I want them to feel good about what they're putting their money into, and because they're putting a lot of trust in me to do this. But that's really it. So your liquidity can be anything. It could be cash in your bank accounts, your business bank account, your personal bank account. It could be money that you got in your retirement accounts, your 401k, your rollover IRA, your traditional IRA, your Roth IRA, your traditional brokerage account. Doesn't matter. As long as you can show that you've got access to funds somewhere to get this project done, you're all good. And this particular property, based on my math, I believe including my origination fee of $4,000, my debt service on this project start to finish should be somewhere around $20,000. So really, that junk right there getting taken out cost me $7. The lot cost me $13. Haven't looked at the quote yet for my survey, but I'll be out of pocket on the survey. And I'll be, I think I said the lot, the survey, demolition. I think that's it. I don't remember. Anyway, so that's how that works. Yeah, you can pay your contractors with the credit card. When the job's done, take video of it, Send that into the portal, and the money sent to you. There you go. It's $200 a draw. The other part of this is getting in with a factory. So to get that new double wide, I'm going to be in 65 grand on that house, roughly 50 grand on my complete setup. And yeah, that home, I'm getting it at an invoice. And so since I'm on a sewer, I opted to go ahead and go with a slightly nicer model for, I think, 3 grand, 2 grand more. And then turn that den into a 4th bedroom, add the sliding glass door to the back of the house in the dining area. It looks better than a door. And then upgrade the master bathroom. So that house will be somewhere around 65 grand, it looks like, $66,000. So if you're following along, I'm basically getting access to $110,000, $120,000 off of a soft credit check and some documents. The entire deal is underwritten based on what I bought here, what you're seeing in the background, and the deal itself. So that's why they don't need all that. That's why they're not putting liens on my house. That's why they're not doing all this extra stuff. It's because they figure, well, if something were to happen to me, we're in 50% on this deal and we'll just double our money. So we're not in a losing position here. And that's where you got to buy right and you've got to underwrite things right. That's why I'm so thankful to have been able to bump into some different people, get to know some people from some real estate meetups and some other contacts, to even be able to get an idea of where to begin here, because 6 months ago I didn't think this was possible. I mentioned the factory. Get in with a factory. I kind of go on a rant here, a tangent, and I'll steer back, but your factory is going to be a big deal here because I just mentioned I'm getting a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, double wide. I think 1,600 square foot for 65 grand invoice. Whenever you're going down the highway and you see that dealer, do not go to that dealer. You're going to pay an insane markup on that house. You need to find somebody that can get you in with a manufacturer. So this particular lender, another reason why I don't care what the interest rate is, I don't care what any of it is, because I already put it into my numbers before I even bought this, right? I don't care because they're already tied to the manufacturer. And so they're able to go direct to them. They're not going to give me any sort of grief for ordering from them. All that was needed was my dealer license. Now, the way that you get the manufactured home dealer license, it's different in every state, but in my state, it was a 15-hour course. And a 15-hour course, you pass that, you could do it in less than 15 hours. Nobody cares. Pass it, do the open book test. Unless you're Helen Keller or you can't read, there should be no reason why you can't pass that 100-question test. And then you just go get the surety bond. The surety bond cost me $250. So that's really as simple as that is. You can get into a factory on your own. But from other people that are 10, 20, 30, land home package deals in, it's a little bit more difficult. They don't tend to always want to work with you, or they're very gated off to letting people buy at those costs, because they would rather sell, and I get it, I understand, they would rather sell to the consumer so they can get that nice markup. I get it, I understand. But that's why I love this lender, because I don't have to worry about that, because they're already tied to the manufacturer. They're already direct to them. So that's the biggest piece there. Other than that, man, super easy to do it so far. I know at some point I'm going to have a surprise pop up here, but hopefully that broke down the hard money. Try and figure out some hard money loan contacts, or try and find private money. Maybe you know somebody that's, I don't have it, but maybe you got an uncle that's got 300 grand sitting in an IRA or a Roth that he's tired of making stock market returns, and you go in there and get him much bigger returns. That if he does an origination fee, or a percentage for closing costs plus the interest rate, okay, do that twice, 3 times 4 years, or 4 times in a year. you've beat the market, and he's going to be able to retire a lot sooner. He's going to live very comfortably, and he's probably going to leave some of it to you because he's going to be very proud of you. And I've even heard that some of these people that do private money, especially if they're a family member or somebody that trusts you very much, sometimes they'll even tell you, just hold on to the money. Hold on to the money and do it again, and then pay me back at another time. So that's one of the biggest things that I've learned here is find the right lender. Okay, I'll give you a little synopsis here. Find the right lender that hopefully has a tie to a factory and will lend on a manufactured home and a lot. Okay, maybe they'll do it together. Maybe they'll lend on the manufactured home, the setup, and the lot. Maybe they'll just do one or the other. Find that. Get your funds in place. Okay, have all of your documents. Have some liquidity. Okay, if there's no excuses here. Okay, if you can't do it yet, then figure out how to get to this point so that you can do it. Okay, find that lender. Try and find other people in your market that are also doing this. You would be surprised how much they will share with you. Really. There's information, things I've been told. I mean, even spreadsheets with some rough numbers already built in there. And then I just got to double check to see if my costs are similar or just use that as my blueprint. That has saved me so much time and so much headache that I had previously. So try to find people that's doing it. Try and find people that's doing what you want to do. Talk to them, ask them questions. If they have questions for you, help them. Help other people. And go and find the good deal. And don't sit here and feel like you got to do the first deal that falls in front of you. Wait for the right one. Wait for the one that you're comfortable with, but not so comfortable that you don't take action. Because if you watch the first video, you'll hear the story. And then from there, just figure it out as you go. There's really no blueprint to this. Really, your education is going to come from getting out here and doing it. So hopefully that helped you out. If you've got questions, put them down below.